back with more Sex Education. This is episode 8 of season 2, and therefore the season finale. Very excited to see how this season wraps up, how they probably set up the next one as well, which we obviously know is coming because it's aired for you guys at this point. And I think, have they confirmed a season 4 yet? Is that just in the back of my mind? I feel like they announced that, right? I don't even know. But yes, I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with this finale. There's a lot that's been going on. I felt like they started to wrap up a few of the bigger stories in the last episode, so there's a bit more room to breathe, I guess, with this one. But yeah, I've loved this season so far. I can't wait to see what they do with it in this episode and how it all kind of unfolds, really. It's going to be very exciting, hopefully. I don't know if we're going to get like a big cliffhanger and nonsense like that, since there's more seasons to come. I feel like season 1 didn't end in that kind of way. I felt like there wasn't like a big like, oh, come on. I can't remember though. So maybe not. Maybe they'll be kind. Doubt it. But yes, I need Maven Otis to just get a grip and get their acts together. I am very intrigued by the whole situation with Eric and Adam and Raheem and where that's going to go. We've had Jackson kind of make amends with his mum in the last episode, which I loved. So I'm hoping him and Viv kind of become friends again as well, because they had a bit of a spat. And yeah, just lots of different things kind of playing out. You know, Jean and Jakob is still a bit of a mess. Is that going to be a thing? You know, Jean kind of lost her job and found out about the clinic as well, I believe, in the last episode. Like, a lot happened because of Mr. Groff being a dickhead. So yes, we'll have to see what happens with it all, but I'm very excited, so let's get into it.
It's not you, it's me. There's something called vaginismus.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you're having a pathetic time.
The withholding of information is not technically a lie, and implementing an avoidance strategy...
Oh, that's just an excuse people say, isn't it?
...is your son's inability to form an attachment with your ex-boyfriend the real reason you're so angry?
No. I'm angry because my son is involved in a highly unethical underground operation on school campus.
There is that.
I always get your worst. And I'm tired of it.
Oh, man.
You shouldn't let them bully you.
Could also say, sorry, Mum.
You'll find something you're really good at soon.
I love her so much.
Because I've got the NSQC finals, I thought you were coming. Oh shit, I totally forgot. I can't make it. Will they video it? I need you to do me a favour. You'll never be my Romeo.
Enough! Quentin, you're always there! Right? How do I get you to not be angry at me anymore?
Stop being a prat.
I think you're always trying so hard to be a good guy that you end up not being a good guy.
I think that's true.
You're going to turn into your dad or something.
It's a picture of your face when it's concentrating.
Oh.
Look, see you there.
No, I want them to work it out.
Is she trying to tell me something?
Me.
Do you think she misses me?
Doubt it.
Well, you haven't been fired yet. Wonders never cease. Let's see.
Even though I don't think he means to be rude, he's rude.
I'm sure musicals aren't really your thing, but is it like Frozen? Because that was very sad. I understand I hurt you. Okay.
You might be suffering from a broken heart. Well, that's ridiculous.
Aw.
I'm a sex...
Innate masculinity. How do we reclaim
Oh,
that
for God's sake.
I believe
Looking for evidence. Oh, shit.
I need to report a child at risk.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Her parent is using drugs and she's unfit to care for her.
Fuck.
welcome to the grand
Holy shit.
final. Why did you leave? When I was a kid. Because I'm an asshole.
I could have told you that.
All the people who like you. You should just hold on to them.
That's the only good thing you've ever said. At least he's honest about who he is. That's something. Oh, it's your person to hold on to.
I'm watching you on live TV. But I wanted you to know how proud of you I am.
It was my fault.
Oh, it's nice
If
that
you're
she's
gonna fire me,
trying.
you have to fire me too.
Then you're both fired. Go on, get out of my shop. Go!
Oh, that didn't go well.
You're my friend. I love you like a friend.
No one's ever said I was their friend before.
Aww. Well, that's wholesome as fuck.
No conferring.
You kind of turned into Braveheart there. I love that film.
I love Steve, he's great.
You're also pregnant.
Oh,
Well, that's impossible. Well, you are.
oh no. Oh. Fuck yeah.
I don't think I want to have sex yet.
We don't have to have sex ever again. I just miss talking to you. It's gonna be...
Oh, I love them.
He's trying something new that he might not be very good at, which is brave. Whereas you do one thing really well and you never shut up about it.
If you're referring to my Rubik's Cube.
Oh.
Not at me, I'm faculty. Your problem,
Quentin.
We're with social services. There's been a report of drug use in the presence of a minor.
Who reported it?
Can't even imagine having to do that. Jesus.
Sorry for being an arsehole.
Yeah. You are a bit of an arsehole. But you're also a good man, Otis.
Oh.
I will never forgive you. Never.
Oh.
Your father needed to fight for us a very long time ago.
What do you mean?
But you have to let the people you love know that you love them.
Hmm.
Even if it causes you a great deal of pain.
Oh boy.
Why?
Adam doesn't want to be like his dad the same way Otis doesn't.
I know all the lines.
I know, Quentin.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, come on, buddy.
Get on with it!
Oh, shut the fuck up, dick. She's gonna help him through the play. Oh, I love it. This is quite the interpretation, I must say. Run, Forrest, run. Thinking, praying, planning, dreaming. Oh boy, oh boy.
Eric Effiong, I have something to say to you.
Oh god, and Raheem's there. Oh no.
Adam, I want to hold your hand.
Oh boy. Oh, he's right there. That's fucking... I feel so bad for him. Right, front row seat. Oh. Oh god, I feel so bad for him.
Corrupted
God.
by this woman.
She had nothing to do with the play, you
Children
knob.
filling their heads with dangerous nonsense.
She wasn't giving out sex advice. I was,
Oh boy.
and I shouldn't have been because I'm 16 years old. My mom is an excellent therapist, and she cares about people. She only wants what's best for them. Which is why she's also such an amazing parent.
Oh.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And she's gonna be again.
I need to see you outside.
Yes.
Immediately.
Kick his ass.
You will take leave as of today.
Well.
If you want to get back together with Jakob, I'm cool with it. No more annoying younger child behaviour. I promise.
God. Oh dear. About that. Yeah, this is sweet, but please go and find Raheem, yeah? Oh shit.
Please, can we be friends again?
Yes.
Move that.
Oh yes.
I missed you.
Honestly, like these two are like the stars of the season for me. I swear.
I'm back in therapy.
They're holding
What's
hands.
wrong, some business?
I think I might be ready for a hug.
Aww. Yes. Then there's poor fucking Maeve. Oh, want to jump off a bridge.
I'll make an omelette. Or you'll make it and I'll watch.
Yeah.
She's gone back to being nice again now. I don't know how to feel about this guy. Oh no, come on. Make out.
Do you know when she'll be back? Can't be sure.
Okay.
Could you let her know?
Gone back to not liking him again.
And tell her to check her messages. Watching you on live TV.
Don't you fucking dare.
But I wanted you to know how proud of you I am. It's always been you. I love you, Maeve.
Yes.
Hope it's not too late.
Message deleted.
Ow. I'm going to roll you into the sea, sir. Oh no. I need to do some breathing exercises or some yoga or some shit to calm down. 'Cause, oh my god. As soon as they like had Isaac listening to the phone, oh for goodness sake. Take it with you, Maeve. Why? Damn. That's just it's their way of dragging it out. That's why it's just so frustrating. Oh my god, I'm so glad I don't have to wait to find out what's going to happen next. I'm so glad we've got season 3 ready to go. But god, how did you people cope? Man, there's a lot to talk about. I barely know where to start. There's a lot of characters to juggle, really. Obviously, some kind of had smaller little bits than others. So I feel like, Jackson's big story this season, for the most part, I feel like was wrapped up in the last episode. I do wish we maybe got something more with like his mums. I think that would have been nice to like have some kind of encouragement from them or a scene like afterwards. But there's a lot going on. They probably just don't have time for it. And the proper thing that they hadn't really resolved was the fact that him and Liv still weren't talking. So we got a scene with them. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, I like that. Understandably, he was incredibly nervous for the show. And I just love that Viv was there, and just like when she was teaching him how to like say the Shakespearean stuff, she was like, she calmed him and kind of gave him that focus to actually get on with the show and do it. And I love that. I love their relationship so much. I love them as like best friends. I love them if they choose to go down a romantic route. I wouldn't be mad either. I don't know if that's where they're going with it. Maybe they kind of did set that up at the end, them just holding hands casually. But friends could do that too, I suppose. But regardless, that kind of friendship between those two, easily one of my highlights of this season. Viv has been an absolute delight, kind of like as an addition to the show. Hoping we get a lot more of them and their interactions next season now that they are friends again. Just the kind of unexpected friendship they struck up. I adore it. So good. Loved it. And I also liked Viv kind of taking charge during the competition bit. And like, well, if we lose, we're losing together, come what may. And that actually kind of spurred them on to go on to win, which I also loved. So I like that kind of competitive streak in her. Like, we're not going to give up, even if we lose. Even if they had lost, become second out of everyone. Pretty bloody good. So yeah, I liked her kind of pushing forward with that and just rallying the troops. And the scene with her and Dex when she's like, you know what, you just talk about one bloody thing, you're boring as fuck, I'm done with you. I like that she kind of got over that side of things and you're just like, you know what, you're not interesting, Jackson's interesting, he's my friend, fuck you. So that was a cool little like character arc for her kind of realising like, maybe I should prioritise actually having some friends in my life as well. It's not all just going to be, work, education. So I adored everything with those two. I'm glad Jackson ultimately could pull through and do the musical. and do well at it. And, if it's a passion for him, it's something he can just get better and better at, My first ever show, I was a dancing cupcake, and I went on to get a, first class degree in acting. So, everyone starts somewhere, and I'm glad that they kind of explored that side of things with Jackson, and if they continue to explore that next season somehow, that'd be quite cool. So we'll have to wait and see where all that goes. But yeah, I've adored the Jackson Viv stuff this season. I liked it in this episode as well. I'm so glad that they're on good terms again. Hopefully we get a lot more focus on them next season, because my god, superstars. So yes, big fan of that, and to see Jackson kind of push through like the nerves and the anxiety he was feeling about the play and being able to do it with Viv's help. Love it. What other kind of smaller bits shall we talk about first, I guess? I guess Amy and Steve, they got a little bit... I really like Steve. He's such a good guy. I like that it's just kind of the good guy around. He's been fully understanding and cooperative as far as he could be in regards to the whole Amy situation, I feel, personally. So I've loved that, and it, gave her the space that she may have needed, and her just kind of... It was all on her own terms, her kind of bringing him a little cupcake with his face on it when he's concentrating. So she's still very much thinking of him and stuff. She just wasn't ready for intimacy or anything. She's still not. But we got to the place where she's like, you know what, let's just go and hang out and wrap her arm around me. And that's a big first step for her. And she was comfortable with that. And Steve was like, we don't have to have sex ever again. I just miss spending time with you. They're just so wholesome. I want more focus on those two as well, because that's an underrated relationship in the show so far, I feel. It doesn't get as much focus as I feel it should. Because, Amy's got a lot of focus this season, and, it's kind of sad that she's gotten that focus because of what the storyline was. And it's an important one, though, and I really like that they did that. But I'd like Steve to kind of get that focus too. But yeah, I love them. Glad that they're working on it. That's what I really do enjoy about this particular story with Amy. As awful and hard to watch as it's been, and the actress has been fantastic through it as well. I feel that they've done a good job, and like a really great job with it. What I do like is they didn't go, well, it's the season finale, so she's over her problem now. It's all fixed and done, and let's move on. Next season, she's absolutely fine. She's not like, well, back to normal. So it's not like an arc that's just been, this is her season 2 arc, that's it. She's getting over that. Good. This is like a traumatic thing that she's, only just kind of coming to terms with, and she's making the first step to like hug her boyfriend. So I like that. Obviously season 3, I'm sure she's still going to be struggling with this. Things aren't just going to be okay. And they're not just going to be like having sex again or anything. I like that it just, because this is the season finale of the season in which this event happened to her in, it's not like, well, we're fixed now just because it's the season finale. This could be something that just affects her for the rest of her life now. So I like that it wasn't just tying a neat bow on that story. It's something that I think is just part of Amy's character now. And as awful as it is that has to be the case, that is obviously something that people go through. So I really liked that. And while there may be little baby steps and little developments, and Amy may get to a place where she's, she can deal with it and be intimate with people again. I like that it wasn't just, that was her one story for this one season and then they're going to do something else next season or whatever. It's going to be an ongoing process. So I really enjoyed that with her story, and her kind of going to the quiz and watching them in the audience was very wholesome. I adore those two as well. Is there a bad character in the show? I genuinely don't think there is. Even if like the people are like, oh god, I hate you, you're a dick, like Groff or Isaac right now. I'm not best pleased with that fellow. They're not bad characters, it's not like, oh, you're a bit underwritten, you're a bit if anything, maybe like Isaac's brother, but it's not like he's a bad character. There's nothing to him. We don't really know him. I don't think there is much focus to him right now. Maybe that's not what the show needs, because there's a lot of characters. So I love that. So I'm just going to be like, I love this character to basically everyone. That's kind of how it is. Saying that, Remy, I guess we could put on that list. Although, no, because again, he's not a terrible character. Like, that is his character, and the actor does it really well, and that's just how he is, and people can be like that. And, this is probably the best he's ever been in this episode, like, admitting, like, how awful he is. So it's not like he's, like, a terrible character either. He's just, like, I want to die whenever he's on screen. So I'm like, oh, God, you're going to say or do something stupid. But yes, I'm just trying to go through my list of what have I talked about, what haven't I talked about. We got a little bit with Maureen, who has also been a shining star this season, I feel. I hope she gets a lot more focus next season. It's weird, like, speculating this, because before when I've been like, oh, next season they might do this or this, all of you guys still wouldn't have seen it yet, but I'm sure most of you watching this have seen season 3 by this point, so you know if I'm right or not. You know, when I've been speculating earlier in the season, it hadn't come out yet, so we're all kind of in the same boat in regards to that, I guess. So it's interesting to kind of speculate in that, but I love her, and I like that she's kind of really trying to reinvent and refine herself, create this life for herself, refusing to, you know, I think his name's Michael, Mr. Groff, refusing to kind of like let him come back. Just because maybe you feel a bit sorry for him, like he should have fought for us a long time ago. He closed himself off from fear of like losing people, etc. Which I do feel makes sense. And I like that her speech then spurned Adam on to go and tell Eric Careyfield in front of a whole ass group of people and in front of his dad, which is also a big deal. The fact that he just so nonchalantly got to that point. And, you know, I guess that shows his passion for it, and he kind of pushed through that fear, which is nice. And I am happy that those two are together, because I do like those two together. I do feel terrible for Raheem, because he didn't necessarily... I wasn't thrilled on how the relationship began with him and Eric, because I do feel like Raheem very much forced some of that quite a bit and just wouldn't leave him alone until you liked me now. But the past few episodes, he's really grown on me, and I feel like they could have just been like... I know it's like a big grand gesture, and it shows how far Adam's come in like accepting himself, I guess, if he makes this grand gesture in front of everyone. But I almost wish like Raheem's like, I don't like musicals, I'm not going to go, and he just wasn't there, because it's just so mortifying. Like, he has to like live with that embarrassment potentially now, like front row seat to being dumped. Lovely, what a great day for him, and like a memory he'll treasure forever. So I feel so awful for him, because that must be bloody mortifying. But it left obviously an interesting warning, I think, for Eric there. You can hold your hand, he may not be able to catch you, because, you know, one grand gesture doesn't mean, like, again, Adam's okay with it now. It's still going to be a process, you know. He's probably still needs to tell his mum and like the rest of his family about what he's going through. They're still very much being in an open relationship with Eric in front of everyone. You know, they haven't seen if that's going to work yet, so it could all crash and burn straight away. And, you know, Raheem's obviously very aware of that. So, yeah, I feel really bad for the guy. It's awful, awful, awful. But on the other hand, I do like Adam and Eric together, even though it's kind of the cliche bully turns out, you know, to, well, be bisexual in this case, I suppose. And then gets with the person that he was bullied and stuff. I know it's a trope, and quite a damaging one, so it's very kind of mixed emotions in regards to that. I do feel like it's good that they had a scene here where Adam was like, listen, I know I hurt you, I want you to know that. And that was before he even like had the intentions of actually trying to get with him then, and like win his love in front of everyone. So that's nice, and it does show that they've kind of moved past that, and Eric's okay with that, and he has kind of moved past that himself, and he kind of forgives him for, I guess, how he was treated before. At the same time, in a meta way, he accepts and forgives him for that because the writers are writing him to do that. But we also did have the scene where, a few episodes, I think it was at the party, when Eric was like, you know, calling Adam out, being like, you know, you bullied me for years, and, you know, it's not going to seem like uneasy that they're together or whatever. So they did do that scene, which I appreciated. And again, Eric kind of said he didn't mean any of that though in this episode, so I'm a bit like, ugh. I like that they're together though. I feel awful for Raheem. I think the real selling point for this storyline, and like if they're committing to this, is going to be what they do in season 3 with those two as a couple. If it all crashes and burns, then maybe it is kind of fair enough, but, you know, they also need to work quite hard, I think, at getting that relationship right. So we'll see what happens with it. But I do like them together, so we'll see where it goes. I don't quite know, you know, because when you react to a show and stuff, you're not really engaged with the fandom until like after you've caught up or whatever. So I don't know the general consensus really, outside of like people commenting about Adam and Eric together. Like, do people prefer Raheem? You know, do people find this quite, you know, I can't really speak to it because I really don't know either. But just from me personally, I am intrigued to see what they're going to do with that relationship. I do like them together, and it was a nice moment, and it's not like they've completely ignored Adam trying to redeem himself and apologising to Eric and everything. They kind of did do that, so we'll see. But I feel bad for Raheem, but I am glad that Eric and Adam are together, and I like the little interaction with Adam and Eric's family. I thought that was quite sweet. So we'll see what happens with those in season 3. I'm glad that Mr. Groff did kind of get a bit of comeuppance in a sense. Obviously they didn't expose him for, forcing Jean getting fired and everything. But he did just lose it at the play because it's Lily's play and it was quite the interpretation of events. But I like that he just kind of lost his shit, and then the woman was like, "You're taking a break now, bye." So his life's kind of fallen apart a bit, but he's a dickhead, so I'm not going to feel too bad about it. But I did enjoy him in the scene with Adam until he was like, "Well, you haven't been fired yet. It's a miracle. You can just say, well, you haven't been fired yet." So even when he isn't, when he's not necessarily trying to be rude, he is. So it's a bit like, oh, come on, man. But yeah, what they do with him next season, if he is in next season, he might just be like, well, I have nothing, goodbye, and like moves away or whatever. But it'd be interesting to see what they do with him next season as well, and what that could mean. This could be like a start of a redemption for him, perhaps, as well. If his son's kind of going through a similar redemption sort of story, maybe he will get it as well and realise what an awful person he's been. We'll see. But I did like, there was some satisfaction to that. And, some of the students standing up for Jean when he was calling her out and blaming her for everything. Even the parents were like, "We're enjoying it, shut up." Jean trying to stand up for herself as well. And I love that Otis then stood up and said, "I've been running this clinic, blah, 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 blah. They got this advice from me. She's a great parent. Leave her alone. Fuck you." So even Otis had a bit of a redemption arc in this one, really. So I wasn't a big fan of his attitude in like one of the first scenes, where he was just like shrugging off what he did and being like, "I'm going to be a therapist. Look at me. I'm all cocky and analysing my mother." I didn't like that attitude. I was like, you're being a bit of a knob. So I like that we had the stuff with him and his dad. Remy just being like, "I'm a piece of shit, that's why I left. I'm just an awful person. Don't read my book, bollocks. Hold on to the people that you really care about." I like that Remy is at least honest about how awful he is and the regrets that he does have. I like that Otis kind of realised Jean isn't necessarily the only problem. I do know, I'm fully aware that Jean was quite overbearing, particularly in season 1, I feel, in regards to Otis. So I understand some of that frustration obviously did lean into some of his issues. But a lot of it, I think, did come from his father as well. And I'm glad that Otis kind of came to that realisation and it's like, you need to reel it in with your mother because it's not all her fault. She's trying her best. So I like that kind of realisation for him. And he tries to hold on to people he cares about by making amends with his mum, making amends with Jakob. Him and Ola are also in a nice place, which I did enjoy, that Ola's kind of forgiven him. It helps that obviously she's with Lily and everything. But I like that he didn't necessarily have to go and apologise to Jakob because right now Jean and Jakob aren't together, but he did anyway. I really like that. And Jakob saying, you have been a bit of a prat, but you are a good person. I liked that kind of reformation? I don't even know. The kind of comfort, I guess, that would have brought to Otis for them to make amends as well. So I like that he was in a good place with a lot of people. And then obviously leaving that voice message to Maeve. What good that got him. Oh, I mean, it's just... That's what I don't get with that whole thing. Otis knows that he left that voice message. And if he knows that Maeve didn't get it, he's going to know that Isaac did shit. So I don't see what Isaac looks set to gain from that, really. In long term, for sure. I just don't... I get that he is clearly into Maeve, and I get that entirely. But I just don't see... If it's not going to happen, it might not happen, buddy. Like, that's just what's so frustrating. I'm like, I don't see what you're going to gain from doing this. This is just pettiness, impulsiveness, but I guess that's human nature. That's being a teenager. So maybe he will just live to regret that very, very soon, I hope. But my God, I wanted to roll him into the sea. Like that viral scene from Mac and Me. Do you remember that? Is it like McDonald's or Burger King or something? They made a movie. then the kid like falls off a cliff in his wheelchair and like splashes into the sea, gets rescued by an alien or something. I just pictured that, just like rolling him into the sea. So yeah, Isaac did like some good things. Him and his brother, you know, they got their concerns to Maeve. I think more so he did it for brownie points with Maeve rather than, oh, this kid's probably going to be in danger, we should tell Maeve about her mother. It was more so, you know, trying to get one over on Maeve, I guess. But, you know, they were helping her out when she came to them and said, you know, can you do this for me? And they got evidence and stuff. Isaac kind of supported her, was light-hearted about it, doing the right, you know, telling her that she did do the right thing ultimately. So it's like, okay, you're winning me over, and then you delete the voice messages, and I'm just like, like, just the back and forth with that character. Like, he's obviously very layered and complex and stuff, which is cool, but season 3 is going to have to do some bloody work with him. I'm telling you now. But yeah, that's a problem for future Liam to deal with, I suppose. But until that moment, I actually quite enjoyed Isaac in this episode because he was doing some, you know, pure acts, maybe not the most pure intentions, because I think it was mainly, you know, I'm doing this so Maeve likes me more, rather than this child's in danger, I might help her out, and, you know, in the long run it might help Erin as well to get her that help. But I can't even imagine Maeve having to go through all of that, just like finding out that she was using again right before the event as well, the quiz. Man. And then Erin turns up to watch and she'd already dobbed her in. Oh my god. I do think she was in the right to do that. I do think it was the right decision. Because I think it will help, you know, her little sister, and it will help Erin, I think, in the long run. But when she was like, oh, I'll never forgive you. So that's a bit of a mess. I feel like it's high time Maeve's lousy brother also showed back up after all this. Like, God. She's not very lucky with her family, is she, bless her? And yet she's, like, the best. So, you know, they had all these little scenes of, like, oh, Eric and Adam are finally together, and, you know, Steve and Amy might be able to work things out in the long run. You know, they're making a bit of progress with that. Amy's feeling a bit okay. Jackson and Viv are friends again. Otis and Jean have made up. All of that, and then it's just Maeve on her own in tears because she had to do it, but it's not going to make it easy, is it? So the strength that Maeve showed in order to do that was quite something. So yeah, my heart's kind of breaking for her a bit, and if anything to make her feel better, it would be Otis telling her how he feels, and then deleting the God, it's so frustrating. I know that's the point, to be frustrating, but my God. Oh, okay. But yes, we know I adore Maeve, so I feel so awful for all that kind of stuff with her and what she had to do, really, and she did have to do it. And I think it will help them all in the long run to sort that all out. I was hoping Erin would be okay and she wasn't using again, but, you know, it's addiction, isn't it? It's such a bloody awful thing to kind of have to work through and try and cut out, really. So, it's a mess. So we'll see if that is explored much further next season, etc., etc. And then, yeah, Jean is pregnant. Holy shit. I was hoping Jakob would find out in this one. We didn't really get much of him. He was just there to watch the play. I like that he's very supportive of Ola getting with Lily. That was nice. And again, I loved his scene with Otis, but we didn't actually really get much of him and Jean, per se. He just like looked at her at one point during Otis's speech, I think it was. So clearly I think he's thinking, like, yeah, maybe we should get back together. And if anything's going to draw them back together, it might be Jean being pregnant with his kid. So that's a lot to deal with. That's, I'm guessing, going to be a pretty big deal next season. So we'll see where that leads. They want to leave something lingering, I guess, into next season. So that'll be Jakob finding out that Jean's pregnant. And whether or not that's going to bring them back together, we'll have to wait and see. I hope it does. Could do like this two together. But yeah, it was cool to see Jean actually be someone who has to open up to someone else as opposed to being the person people open up to. You know, she spent her life doing that. She makes a living doing that. So it was nice to actually see her with the doctor and say everything she's been going through, and then to find that she's pregnant and just breaking down. How Otis is going to react to that as well is also going to be very interesting. How Jean copes with all of that. You know, she might just choose to have an abortion maybe, or is she going to keep it? That's obviously more questions for season 3 to probably answer. So very, very interested in how that's all going to play out. But I did like her kind of confronting Otis, calling him out, being like, you know what, you're a horrible teenager, and you know, I see all your worst. I'm sick of it. He wasn't taking responsibility for what he was doing at first. I like that he did learn to do that by the end, and you know, talking about Remy and him leaving and stuff. I like that she's, I think, made some kind of progress in terms of making peace with that, with her and Otis, and Otis of his own accord defending her was really nice, and I'm sure she loved to hear that as well. So there is, you know, some wounds being healed, but obviously more drama to come with the baby and everything. So I'm very intrigued by where all that's going to lead. I liked Ola and Lily being together. I love those two together. I like how casual and fun they can kind of make the intimate stuff be, because Lily's obviously still got her problem, and Ola's just very casual and comes up with a solution for it, and what a solution it was. And then Lily kind of running her play and stuff, and I'm glad that those two seem to be in a good place with their relationship, and I'm very happy that they're together. Lily's interpretation of Romeo and Juliet also provided a lot of comedy and just being absolutely fucking wild. I love that. So that was all good. And one of my favourite running jokes of this episode was everything with Quentin, I think his name was, like the kid who obviously wanted to be Romeo, and then the teacher was like, "You little shit, go away, Quentin." For some reason that really made me laugh. That's a really funny little subplot in this episode that I very much enjoyed. So I liked getting to see the play performed and how very, very Lily it all was, basically. I did enjoy that. And also, speaking of Ola, I love the scene with her and Adam when she like tried to defend him, lost her job because of it. She was like, "Well, you know, I love you, you're my friend." And Adam's like, "No one's ever called me their friend before," which is fucking sad, first of all. But then when he hugged her and stuff, wholesome. I hope we get more of that friendship, because, you know, again, the bond between those two, we've had a lot of nice scenes this season with that. So I like that Ola's kind of found a lot of peace with like Otis and stuff, and she's got a nice friendship with Adam, and she's got a nice relationship with Lily. All very wholesome, so I loved everything with that. And it is good for Adam to have, you know, done what he did in a way, to get with Eric and stuff. I like that, you know, I'm happy that he's kind of comfortable with that side of himself to a point. We'll see just how comfortable he is next season, I suppose, when he is in a proper relationship with Eric. But I liked everything with that, and the insecurity about his dad still not telling him that he got fired, trying to get back to school so he can find something that he's good at. I like Maureen kind of supporting that idea as well, of him trying to find something that he's good at. So maybe that's going to be a big story for him next season as well, probably finding a real passion for him, and then hopefully the kind of like a future career in it as well. So that'd be really nice if we get some of that. But yeah, I think that's basically everything I want to talk about, really. I've just got a long ass list of names, really, because so many different characters being juggled. But yeah, fantastic episode. I loved the finale. Lots of lingering things, obviously, for season 3 to explore, so I'm looking forward to all of that, and continuing to drag out Maeve and Otis probably until the end of next season, I'm guessing. And even then, maybe they'll find something else to keep them apart. Probably Otis gets kidnapped by aliens at the end of season 3. I guess that's going to be the twist, is it? To keep them apart for another season. We'll see. But yeah, there's a lot to explore, and I've really loved what they've done with season 2. A lot of the very important storylines that they've tackled with it. I think Amy's story is a big highlight. You know, everything with the bus and stuff was fantastic. Also a big highlight for me personally was Jackson's story this season, just because I relate to a lot of kind of anxiety, panic attack kind of stuff. So his storyline and his friendship with Viv coming from that, definitely some big highlights as well. We know Maeve is just like a powerhouse. I adore her. I've loved Maureen as well. I mean, everything basically. But there's like definitely the big standouts for me. But yeah, fantastic season. I bloody love the show, and I can't wait to see what season 3 has to offer. From what I've heard, a lot of people have really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see what I think of it when we get there. But I've really loved season 2. Glad I've finally kind of gotten through it. It's been a long old haul, I think. We started this quite a while ago now, but obviously during all that time I moved and life happens. So it took us a while to get through these 8 episodes. But I am excited to be a point now that when I'm done with this, we already have season 3 that I can just dive straight into next time. So very, very excited for that. Thank you for watching my reactions to this season. Hopefully you will continue on for season 3. And yeah, what an excellent finale, excellent episode, excellent show. So excited to see where it's all going to go. But I do need to scream into a pillow now after that deleted voicemail thing, because my God, that has ruined my day. So yes, that is going to be everything for now. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.